9.1 Exponential functions. Shop till you drop. Are you just browsing? Take your time. Researcher know to the dollar the average amount the typical consumer spend at the shopping mall. And the longer you stay, the more you spend. So if you say you are just browsing, that is just fine with the mall merchants. Browsing is time, and as we'll explore in this section, time is money. Learning objectives: evaluate exponential function. 2. Graph exponential function. 3. Evaluate function with base E. 4. Use compound interest formula. Here you have some vocabulary. You need to find the meaning of those words or the symbols, okay, and write them. This is your classwork. So as soon as you come to class, you need to look for those words. Let's take a look at rules and quick review or summary. The exponential function with the base b is defined as f of x equal b to the power of what? X, where b greater than 0 and b cannot be 1. The graph contains the point 0, 1. If you look at the graph here, you will find 0, what? 0, 1 here. Can you see that in your graph? 0, 1. You see that here, over there. When b greater than 1, the graph rises from left to right. What's mean left? Coming from left going to where? To the right. When b is less than 1 and greater than 0, the graph falls from left to right. From left going like this to the right, like this. The graph fall. What's mean fall? Go down means. Okay? And this is called what? Rise. The x-axis is the horizontal asymptote. What's mean horizontal? What's horizontal means? Horizontal like this? Because that's the x-axis, right? X-axis. What's asymptote mean? Means doesn't touch it. So if you have, look at the graph here. Do you see the graph here? Does it touch the x-axis? No. It doesn't. It keep going, but it come closer to it, but doesn't touch it. That's meaning of a asymptote. Repeat after me, asymptote. Come closer, but doesn't touch. Come closer, but doesn't touch. That's the meaning of asymptote. The domain is always from negative infinity to infinity. The domain always what's the x-axis, correct? So if the graph is going like this, let me change the color. If the graph is going like this, you see, it's going negative x, which is negative what? Infinity. And going to where? Positive infinity. Can you see that? Is this clear? Clear. Okay. The range, which is the y-axis. The range is what? Y-axis. And the domain is what? X-axis. Is the range is from 0 to infinity, because you know, if you take a look at the y-axis, where is the y-axis? It's like here, right? This is your y. So it's coming closer to the x-axis, which the x-axis is what? 0, right? Yeah. 0 and 0. So it's not coming to the 0, so that's why it's open here. You see this open? And going to infinity, because up is infinity for the y. As you can see here, it's going to what? Infinity, up. Okay, and it's coming closer to what? To the 0. Okay, the natural exponent exponential function is f of x equal e to the power of x, where e equal how much? 2.71828. That's the value for e. Now, asking you here to graph 2 to the power of x and graph g to the power of what? X minus 1. Can you see that? Yes or no? So we make a table and we put x values. We start with the easiest value. What is the easiest value? 0. And then you put the function here. What is the function here? 2 to the power of x. And put the other function. What's the second function? Exactly. So if x is 0, so it's going to be 2 to the power of what? How much? 1. If here 2 to the power of what? X minus 1. So 0, this is like 0. This is like what? 0 minus 1, which is equal what? 2 to the power of what? Negative 1. How much is 2 to the power of negative 1? Half. Is this clear? Right, what about the one here? If it's 2 to the power of what? Negative 1 equal what? Half. Here, 2 to the power of negative 1 minus 1. That give you what? Minus 2. Can you see minus 2 here? Which is equal what? 1 over 4. What about the one on top here? 2 to the power of what? Negative 2, which is equal how much? 1 over 4. Here, 2 to the power of negative 2 minus 1. It's give you 2 to the power of minus 3, which is 1 over 8. And the same thing here. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. 2 to the power of 1 minus 1 equal what? 2 to the power of 0. How much 2 to the power of 0? 1. Here, 2 to the power of 2, which is equal what? 4. 2 to the power of 2 minus 1 equal 2 to the power of 1, which is equal how much? 2. Now you get the points. How much the point? For this one is going to be what? Negative 2 and quarter. Negative 1 and half. 0, 1. 1 and 2. 2 and 4. What about this one? It's going to be negative 2 and 1 over 4. Negative 1, 1 over 4. 0, half. 1, 1. 2, 2. You like that? So you're going to have to graph both of them. This one time and this one time. So take a look at the graph. Do you see the graph here? So the blue one is 2 to the power of what? X. That's the blue one. And the red one is 2 to the power of x minus 1. You can see here the one with negative x minus 1 is, it's like flattening. Means coming close to the x-axis. If I told you you have 2 to the power of x minus 4, where do you think it's going to be? Where do you think?
We need to raise the graph.
It's going to be up or down? No, it's going to be down. It's going to be down.
Because the 2 is plus, so we're going to make it down.
It's going to down. Type if I say 2 to the power of, and instead of x, I say x to the power or x plus 2. It's going to be, if I say 2 to the power of x plus 2, where it's going to be? Up here, you see? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
I will tell you why. If I say 2 to the power of 1, how much 2 to the power of 1? 3, right? Now, if I do this one, if I say 2 to the power of 1 here, minus 4, it's going to give you what? Minus 3. Is this clear?
Yes.
So that's why it's flattening. The value is going flat. How much 2 to the power of negative 3? 1 over 8. Correct. How much this one? It's going to be how much? 8. So 1 and 8. What about this one? It's going to be 1 and 1 over 8. So the point here, different, right? Is this clear? Yes. We'll try, inshallah. Okay, is this clear? I'll give you example in a minute, okay? Next one, now.
بس فهمت كل شيء بس على موضوع الجرافيك يوم قلت انه لو تصير فرق تكون
Don't worry, we will understand it now. We'll do one practical, okay? Now let's go for simple interest. What's simple interest? What's mean simple interest? What's interest mean?
Interest يعني
When you put your money in the bank, what do you get? You get what? Interest.
لا interest مو interest.
What's mean interest in Arabic? Yes, exactly. So your balance in 1 year, how can you get your balance in 1 year? Equal what? Principal times principal plus times interest in decimal. I will explain this later, okay? We're just going over the rules now, okay? Now let's go for compound interest. What's mean compound interest? Simple interest mean, what's simple mean? Simple, right? Simple. Compound? Yes, very good. You understand this? So simple means what? And compound? Is it clear? Okay. So what is the formula for compound interest? A equal what? A is the balance after certain time of year, per year, okay? So B is what? The principal. What is R? Interest rate. What is N? How many times per year you are getting paid, okay? So R is the interest rate, N is how many times you paid per year, if you paid one time a year or twice a year. Sometimes every 1 month you get paid, huh? And every time, sometimes you get every 6 months. And sometimes they, at the end of the year, you get the interest. So it's different, right? Okay. Another type of calculating interest is something called E, which is continuous. It's natural E, okay? It's written on your paper, right? You wrote it down with the example here.
So the natural, it's like
Natural exponents.
So do you mean like by the natural numbers? Like we have like a natural numbers? بمعنى الأعداد الحقيقية الطبيعية.
Natural exponents. It's like E. How much is E? 2 point? How much is E? 718. That's the value of E. Okay? We will take examples. Take a look here. Select the better investment for $4,000 over how many years?
6 years.
For how much the interest compounds?
6%.
6%. So we'll apply the formula. What's the formula? A equal what? B? 1 plus R over N times N. This is power, huh? N times T. N times T. So what is the principal? 4,000. How many? What's the interest rate? 6%. How can I? Like this, right? And how many times you get paid a year? What does mean semi? Every 6 months. So semi every 6 months. So how many times a year? N equal 2 because it's semi. Okay, so you just apply 2 here. So what's your final answer? 5,703. That's after 1 year compound. Compound what? Interest. Paid how many times? 2 times. Yes.
شو طلعت التو؟
Because it said semi-annual. Semi means half. If you say annual, that's mean what? What's mean annual? Yearly. Semi,
twice a year.
twice a year. 2. طب quarterly,
3 times a year.
quarterly. Quarterly, okay. Quarterly means what? Every, so quarterly means what? 1 over 4 times what? Times 12. Give you what? 3. Is this clear?
Yes.
All right. Now let's go for compound continuously. Continuously means what? What we're going to use? What we're going to use for continuously? E. So what's the formula for this? What's the formula? B times what? E to the power of what? R times T. So how much is B?
4,000.
4,000. How much is E? 2.718. I give you this number before, right? I give it to you. You have it?
Yes, we have.
Okay. And what else we have?
You 4.9%.
R. What is the interest? How much the interest?
1.9.
How can I write it in decimal?
0.05.
0.059. Okay. And how long?
6.
6 years. 6 years, right? So that's it. So you just multiply and you get the answer after 6 years, which is how much? 99. Is this clear? Well, not clear.
Clear, sure.
Okay. شوية clear. No problem. Okay, let's go over the vocabulary. What's the meaning of evaluate? Means find the value. Evaluate means what? Find the value. So if we say S equal 5, what is S plus 6?
11.
11. Yes, good. Why is 11?
لأن قيمة S هي 5.
Very good. So you put 5 here, 5 plus 6, give you 11. What is variable? Unknown number. So if I say 3 plus x times 12, which one is the variable? X. Very good. Exponential function. What's mean exponential function? Who can tell me? If you have function, usually we say x to the power of 2, for example. Right? But this is not exponential function. Exponential function is the opposite. You say 2 to the power of x. Is this clear? Or you can say 3 to the power of x, or you say 3 to the power of x minus 1. That's called what? Exponential a function. This not this one. Clear or not clear?
Yeah.
So it's not this one, huh? All right, next one.
يعني لما يكون الأسها مجهول.
لما يكون os variable.
Okay.
مجهول, yes.
Okay.
طيب, when do we use exponential function? The spread of virus or pandemic. اللي هو زي corona, like corona. Okay? If I am sick and you come and talk to me and you come talk to me, how many people sick now? 3. If you go and you talk to the 3 behind you, and you go talk to the 3 behind you, what happened to the other 3?
كل العالم تروم خلاص.
And then you go and talk to the people in the back, and he goes talk to the people in the back. Then what happened at the end of the day? Everyone will be sick with corona, right?
Yes.
That's why we use exponential a function. Okay. What other things? Bacteria. The growth of bacteria. What is bacteria? Like, you know, the bread, right? If you leave the breads outside,
To be rotten.
then rotten, and the spread of the bacteria goes very quickly, right? All right. What else? The growth of human population. You get married, and you have how many kids? 4. And the 4 kids, what happened to them? They get married, and each one of them get how many? 4 or 5. and their kids get married and they get, so it's growing, the population is growing fast. That's why we use exponential A function. Clear? مفهوم ولا لا؟ What else? Compound interest in finance as well. That's another example. Nuclear chain reaction or radioactive decay. All this is example of what exponential A function. Okay. So as we said, exponential growth. We have A is a value, is the initial value. So the initial value is always the number before the A, the base. The base is the coefficient before the variable. The variable is the A exponent. When there isn't an initial value, the value of the number is 1. So if I say 2 to the power of x, what is the value in front of 2 if it's not there?
0.
No, 1. How can you put 0? If you put 0, then the whole thing is 0. Yes. Yeah. So 1 here is called what? Coefficient. 1 is what? Is a coefficient. Is this clear? So 1 here. Here 1 is the coefficient. What is A? Is what? The initial A value. Okay, let's move on. So another example here, I have A times B to the power of x. B has to be less than 0. That in this case, it's going to be what? Decay. Yani decay. Yes, decay means going down, right? Going down. Like sometimes radioactive. If you leave the radioactive for like 100 years or 200 years, what happened to the radioactivity? It goes decay. That's why they always have to buy new radioactive اللي هو بيستخدم في التصوير الاشعاعي في المستشفى لما بيصوروا المخ او بيصوروا جسمك. So they need radioactive. So but small amount, not big large amount. Okay. So far so here, if I have a calculator, you'll just press what? 2 to the power of what? To the power of what? 2 to the power of 1.2. And that's how much it give you? What's the value of this? 2.29. Is this clear? Now, in the calculator, you type in 4 to the power of what? Square root of 2. They give you how much? Exponent. This is a exponent. Here, this is exponent. Okay? Yes. What? Picture of what? Of this one? I will save this and put it in Blackboard so you can download it. Okay? These are examples. Yes.
Can you show me the solution in the calculator?
How to do it in the calculator?
Yes, can you show me?
In the exam.
How can I show you? I don't have a calculator.
No.
Just press 2, put 2. وريني give me. Here, you put يا عم ده عندك ممسوح خالص. انا مش عارف ازاي. ها؟ لا يا باشا. هتحط هنا 2 to the power of 2. يديك كام؟ 4. اوكي. في بقى عندنا هنا cancel. This one هتحط هنا مثلا ايه 3 to the power of 5 for example. يعمل enter بقى enter equal like this. So the same thing, you put 2 and to the power هنا
بس هنا في
بص هنا 2 وبعدين تطلع هنا to the power of كام 1.2 وتقول له ايه enter كده enter يلا.
باختبار بتجيبها كده
Yeah.
مع الكالكوليتر.
Yes, inshallah. Okay, you got the answer? You know how to do it? Maybe you don't know. You will know later, inshallah. So the same thing, you put in the calculator e to the power of what? 1.1. And how much the answer? That's the answer. In the calculator, you put e to the power of what? Minus 0.25. And this is the answer. Clear? Okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. I need someone to read number 1. Who can read number 1? Tfaddal.
X equals 42.2 1.56 more X models the average amount spent with X in dollars at a shopping mall after X hours. What is the average amount spent in the nearest dollar after 3 hours?
So you go to the shopping mall. What is the formula or the model for the shopping mall? This one. After 3 hours, how much you're going to spend after 3 hours in the mall? What are you going to do? This is the model, right? Namuz again. After 3 hours, how much you can spend? Replace X with what? 3. So in the calculator, you put 1.56 to the power of 3. Yalla, عملها calculate. Okay? So, and then whatever the answer, you multiply times what? 42. And you get what? 160.20. Approximately how much? 160. So you're going to spend 160 real or dollars after 3 hours in the mall. If you look in the mall. Yes? Yes, it said 3 hours. Okay? Yeah, do this one. How many hours? Let's read. Who can read? Who can read? Yalla, read, yeah.
India is currently one of the world's fastest growing countries.
Ali Sultan.
The exponential function f of x equals 574 times 1.026 to the power of x. Models the population
Of India.
of India.
يعني ايه models the population of India? تعداد السكان. Yes. Okay. In
Millions. X years after 1974. Find India's population to the nearest million in the year 2028.
right. From 1974 to 2028. How many numbers? 54. 54. 54, right? You subtract, you know. 54 or 64? Subtract this from this.
46.
Huh? 46 or 64? 64. So what is x here? يلا do it on the calculator. يلا يا مستر. مين معاه calculator؟ طب الموبايل طيب. يلا جوال.
نعوض الاكس كم 64؟
64, yes. يلا do it on the calculator. يلا. يلا and solve the answer. Put the answer here on your paper. Here x is going to be how much? 64, huh? And you put 64 here. And then you tell me how much the population. Yes. The mobile. Do it on the mobile. Scientific. Make it scientific. عندك الكالكوليتر على الموبايل بيطلع ساينتفك او سامبل
54 انا اقول
54 ولا 64 اوكي 54 اطرح
انا طرحت 54
ماشي اوكي good so you subtract let's do it together so 20 28 54 right so in this case you're going to say f of 54 equal 574 1.026 to the power of what 54 yalla do it in the calculator and tell me the answer
والله
ها
2295
slowly
458
458 times 574
no this with all things
oh everything
yes
all right
And this
so
one we need to make
approximately how much approximately
2295.
approximately how much 5 turn the 9 to be what extra one right
Yeah.
so
2 3
how much
2300
like this right because okay let's make it 5 like this because the 4 keep the 5 the same because the 4 here
إذا صارت خمسة.
keep right we keep it as it is so it
إذا
stays the
صارت-
same
إذا صارت
if the 4 is 5 then this becomes 6 okay
الاعداد الفكري والاعداد المعتاد
this is what's in million right so it's going to be what 2295 million is it a big number or small number how can you write it in a million how many zero million
6
6 that's a big number or small number
big number
that's like actually 2 billion right 2 billion 295 million
almost a quarter of the population.
they're gonna come and eat the people because there's no food right
Yeah.
all right is this clear did you write this down yalla write it down